School of Management in the Netherlands. I graduated from Kenyatta University in 1989 with a bachelor's degree in education. For my A-levels, I was in Mungoidi Girls in Murang'a. And O-levels, I was in Gambuni Girls in Meru. For primary, I was in a local primary school near my home. My experience spans over 28 years of service in public service. Currently, I'm an entrepreneur, running a family business, and I do consultancies in my area of expertise, that is in human resources and administration. I have worked, I worked for the Salaries and Remuneration Commission for 6 years. My term ended in 2017. In that commission, I was a part-time commissioner. The commission work was to set and regularly review the salaries for state officers and also advise government on remuneration and benefits for other public officers in the county and in national government. My main role there was policy formulation, strategy formulation, and oversight of the commission work, mainly the secretariat, which was implementing the policies and the strategies of the commission. At the same time, when I was working in Salaries Commission, I was a director, Human Resources and Administration, at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. I joined the commission in 2010 when it was the Interim Independent Electoral Commission. I was one of the senior managers who was assisting the commissioners in setting up a lean and professional secretariat. My main role there was to be the team leader in the field of human resource and administration. Some of my achievements there was development of organizational structures to deal with the grading of the employees in the organization, and I also developed motivational programs, some of them being the Carlon scheme, the mortgage scheme, and the retirement benefit scheme of the commission. While there, I was a member of the tender committee of the commission in 2010. And I adjudicated many contracts as the chair together with my team, and none of the contracts which I adjudicated had ever been questioned anywhere. Earlier, before joining the commission, I worked at the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company. I joined the company in 2004 when it was setting up from the then City Council of Nairobi. My main work in the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company was to transform the institution into a commercial outfit. In terms of my main achievements there was to do change management programs. We inherited employees from the then City Council. After evaluation, we realized the employees did not have the culture in which we wanted for the company. So we had to undertake a lot of change management programs to ensure the culture we want in the institution is what we got. And that was my main activity. I also implemented the ISO 9000 certification in the same institution. Before then, I worked at the National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation as Chief Manager, Human Resources and Administration. That is where I started my career in senior management. I was exposed to management, to budgeting, and to financial matters. Earlier, I worked for the Institute of Primates Research, the National Museums, and the Agricultural and Development Corporation at junior and middle level management. Finally, Madam Chair, I want to assure you and the panel that I have the dominant skills in electoral management, in governance, and in general management. I am a person who is very objective, I'm decisive in decision making, and I am ready to serve my country in this position which you are interviewing me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Celestine, for that. Please, could you confirm if you are a registered voter?
Yes, madam, I'm a registered voter.
Mm-hmm.
I fought at Makindu Primary School in Kimbwesi West constituency.
Thank you so much, Celestine. Yes. I'll now request Mr. Morris Kimuli to ask you a few questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Celestine.
Yes, sir.
When you worked for the National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation, you say you were in what capacity?
Chief Manager, Human Resources and Administration.
That time there was a grave problem with ascertainment of water bills and verification of the people who had consumed water and how much was due. Is that so?
I'm not aware, sir.
You're not aware?
No, for the time I was there.
You were there just before
From 1999 to September 2004.
And that is the time that the corporation ceded part of its mandate to the water companies.
Not the time, sir, because the water company were formed when I left.
But while you were there, the proposal to form the water companies and transfer part of the mandate was mooted and actually actualized, and then you moved from the corporation and went to Nairobi Water Company.
Yes, sir.
Before that takeover, there had to be an audit, and one of the findings was that there was a problem with verifying what debts were being taken over by the water companies.
I'm not aware, sir, of that issue.
When you came to Nairobi Water Company, did you take over some debts that were originally accrued by the Pipeline Corporation, the Conservation Corporation?
Sir, when I joined the water company, we inherited stuff from the then City Council of Nairobi. Mm-hmm. So the whole department for water was moved to the company. So we inherited their assets and the liabilities.
What about the uncollected water bills?
Yes, all of them.
You inherited?
Yes.
What I'm asking is, was there a problem of verifying what was outstanding? Was there a problem of records? So that when you're in the water company, you really can't tell whether this amount is outstanding, how it was accounted for. Was there that problem, or you didn't notice any problem?
No.
It was a seamless transfer.
It was a seamless transfer. We were given the debts which the City Council then was owed to the City Council by our customers. And that is what we were following up when we joined the company.
Okay, you say you are working for the Salaries and Remuneration Commission at the same time when you worked for IEBC.
Yes, sir.
But you are a commissioner.
Yes, but part-time.
If you look at the structure, the IEBC does not allow part-time commissioners. If you look at the structure of SRC and the structure of IEBC in terms of relationship with the Secretariat, do you think there are any differences?
Yes, there is differences. Although there are constitutional commissions, at the same time, I experienced a lot of differences.
Would your work be different as a commissioner of IEBC from what it was when you were a commissioner of SRC?
Not really.
Not really?
Yes.
So the fact that you are a part-time commissioner would not make a difference?
No, because the work is the same.
It would not make a difference. You also had a secretariat at SRC?
Yes, sir.
Now, in your view, these are two independent commissions. Does that independence extend to staff who are actually employed by these commissions?
The word independence, Madam Chair and the panel, relates to the work you are doing. It relates to the work you are doing. The work is independent, not to your own conduct as a staff or even as a commissioner.
I'm asking because we have had situations where the Electoral Commission was disbanded. You know that?
Yes, I know.
You were not there that time.
2008.
Yes, 2008.
I was not there.
It was disbanded.
Yes.
And all staff were sent home.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm asking is, when we talk about, a lot of the work that commissions do is actually done by the staff. Is that so?
Yes.
So when you have a situation where all staff can be sent home, and that's why I'm asking whether you think the protection given to the commissions as independent commissions extends to members of staff so that there can be continuity. And when you serve as a member of the Secretariat, you know, whether you are head of department or not, you serve without fear or favor. Do you think it extends or it just stops at the commissioners?
It does not even stop at the commissioners or even cover the commissioners. The independence will cover the work you are doing. If you are not of good conduct, independence of the commission cannot protect you.
But you know the procedure for removal of commissioners?
Yes.
What does it entail briefly?
A commissioner can be removed on violation.
No, I'm asking about the process.
The process.
Yes.
A petition is taken to the National Assembly, and National Assembly will look at the issue. They will adjudicate, they will deliberate on the issue, and if they find merit in it, then they will recommend that a tribunal be formed for the removal of the commissioners.
Does that procedure apply for members of the Secretariat?
No, because they are employees of the commission, and the commission can handle their daily disciplinary issues within the commission.
But you are aware that when the commission was disbanded in 2008, it was disbanded out of external forces. It was not the commission that sent the employees home.
Yes.
It was not. So you don't think there should be a measure of protection for employees working with independent commissions, protection against external interference, a removal from the outside?
No, sir. Because your work should be able to protect you. There's no use of being protected if you are not doing the correct thing. You
have worked with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and you are also an expert in HR. We have had like for example, when the commission was disbanded, and that has happened a number of times, you send people home and you pay them from public resources for the remainder. It's an independent commission, negotiate a package. It happened with the Ethics Commission. It happened with the Electoral Commission. Send them home for your convenience outside what the Constitution states, and then negotiate so that you pay them from the public coffers. What would you have to say about that?
Mr. Kimuli, I don't think, really, if there is a serious ground for removing any commission or commissioners, there is need for public sector to pay any money to commissioners who are being removed, unless they are being removed for political reasons, really, and there is no ground for removal.
So while you served with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, do you remember a time when you raised the red flag against such practices where we want to remove you, you are independent, we tell you, hey, look, the only thing you are interested in is your pay for the remainder. You have 4 years remaining, we will pay you for each month. And the commission is in charge of the remuneration of commissioners, isn't it?
I think it's good to state here, in 2013, there was a petition in Parliament to remove the Salaries and Remuneration Commission after reducing the salaries of MPs from 851,000 to 532,000. And the reason why the petition never went through is because we had a reason. We were working with the principles which were being given by the Constitution, and we knew how to handle stakeholders.
Celestine,
Yes.
if you are successful as a commissioner, and tomorrow we want to remove you, politicians want you out, and you have 5 years remaining in your term, and they come to you, they tell you, you have to accept to go, we will give you your salary for the remainder of the 5 years, each month. But do you know how much commissioners earn?
Yes, I know. I'm the one who set the pay.
How much is that?
It ranges between 500 and 32.
Let's assume it's 500.
Yes.
In a year, it's 6 million. 6 million shillings. They tell you, every year we'll give you 6 million for 5 years. You look at 30 million, something like that. You now, as a commissioner, and you're given that package, and you're told, walk away, go and look for a job elsewhere. Would you take it?
No.
Why?
Because really, it's not fair. If there is a reason to remove me, I should be able to face the tribunal, and then I'm removed in a fair way.
And if you are removed unfairly, would you go to court and ask for compensation?
That is, I'm an HR professional. So if I feel my rights are being violated, then I'm entitled to go to court.
So if they tell you you don't have to go to court, we will pay you. What is the difference?
What I don't like is a situation where I'm negotiating to go out just because I want to be out. No, that one I wouldn't like to be paid.
Okay, let me just ask you one last question because we are out of time. As an expert in HR, do you know what the law, and you've worked with the commission in HR, do you know what the law says about sexual harassment within the commission?
Yes, I know. For any employer who employs 20 employees and above, they have to have a statement of sexual harassment, how to protect their employees, not even the employees, even the outsiders, from sexual harassment.
Do you know what the law provides about harassment of people in the political sphere? Sexual harassment?
The Employment Act is very clear.
Not Employment Act.
Yeah.
IEBC oversees issues of harassment, sexual harassment for political actors, those who are campaigning, those who are doing those who are involved, staff who are working with outsiders, do you know what that policy, it's actually in the law, do you know what it says?
We have the Election Offences Act, which protects the commission employees from such actions.
What about outsiders? Like,
Even-
for example, a candidate running for office and is a woman and is sexually harassed. Does the commission have a role, a duty?
Yes.
What duty?
If we see it happening, you witness something like that, you can liaise with the office of the director of procurement to have the issue investigated. Even the commission itself has the power to investigate and forward the case for prosecution.
Okay, you will have some time to look at the IEBC Act on that. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kimuli. I now will request Dr. F.S. Abdallah to ask you a few questions.
Good afternoon again, Celestin.
Afternoon, sir.
Right, I've gone through your CV and it's quite impressive. It's diversified and all, right? Now, you have been a director of human resources at Nairobi Water and Sewage for how many years?
For about 6 years, sir.
Right. Now, it is some belief that most employees, if given an opportunity, can come up with top innovative ideas capable of transforming the organization for the better. Encouraging creativity among employees should therefore be at the core of an organization's planning for the future to ensure its sustainability. Right. In your previous positions, did you implement such a program?
Yes, sir.
Tell us.
When I started in Nairobi Water, you realize I inherited staff from the then City Council. By the time we were being given the company, and we were only 6 directors, the company was collecting 70 million per Kenya shillings per month. By the time I was leaving the company in 2010 to join the commission, we were collecting 300 million per month. And that happened because of innovations which I introduced. One of them was the bonus scheme. I benchmarked a bonus scheme from Kampala Water and Sewerage Company, which I implemented in the Nairobi Water Company. And the innovation I came up with is every time a team, we formed teams and we divided the company into regions. Every region, we gave them targets, and we agreed on targets with them every month. Every month, we sat down with each region and agreed on the targets for revenue and non-revenue water. And through that bonus scheme, which we used to give 10% of the revenue you have collected, we give it back to your team to go and share as a team. That was my innovation.
And is NCWCSC making money, or was it making money by then?
We took the company when it was collecting 70 million. Mm-hmm. By the time I was leaving, we were collecting 300 million in a
what
month.
Expenses?
The expenses.
So you could increase your collection, but simultaneously, there has been issues in the media or in the paper about Nairobi not being able to sustain itself.
Currently, Nairobi Water is a very strong company. Actually, currently they are collecting over 400 million in any 1 month. It's one of the viable companies in Kenya.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, in 2004 to 2010, you are the Director of Human Resources and Administration Services at the Nairobi Water, right? You are also the chairperson for the company tender committee. Is it during that tenure of your employment?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have other trainings, of course, including public procurement, right?
Yes.
Now, 2010 to 2017, you joined IEBC as a human resource and administration, the same portfolio, somehow, right?
Yes.
Were you also the chairperson for the procurement?
Yes, I was the first chairperson of the tender committee of the Interim Independent Electoral Commission.
Right. Now, what are you doing now? I see you are a sole proprietor for Uteli Enterprises.
Yes.
What does Uteli Property Enterprises do?
We run a couple of hotels, which are family businesses.
All right. Now, with your more than 12 years experience as on the tender committee as the chairperson, I'm sure you are very much aware of the hue cry on the procurement system and the scandals surrounding the IEBC. What are you partly responsible for this? Because you are the chairperson.
I want to state there is no tender which came to my committee which has ever been questioned anywhere.
No, I think you are evading my question. I'm asking you, there is no procurement can be done in any organization whatsoever without it coming to the tender committee, including your ballot paper, including your technology, where you use Saframorpho and you went to debate this. Are you telling this panel that this was bypassed? It was not done according to the Procurement Act?
I want to confirm to the panel that it did not come through the tender committee, which I was chairing that time.
So you are telling this panel and Kenyans as a whole that what was done was totally illegal?
I'm not saying it was illegal in terms of where it was procured, but you are aware that in IEBC we have cases in court. And those cases, they are already in court, and I don't want to discuss them.
No, madam, I'm not asking, neither am I asking you to comment on the cases in court. I'm very well aware what I'm supposed to ask. You are the chairperson of the procurement committee of IEBC. The law is very clear. Any procurement, what law is supposed to follow? Are we in agreement?
Yes, sir.
So are you saying that any organization can go, or anybody can go and procurement using the public funds without following the regulation?
It happened, sir.
Are you aware, or are you confirming it was illegally done? The procedure, okay, let's not say illegal. The procedure was not followed.
Yes, it was
and
not
you were
followed.
the chair there.
Yes.
And what makes you feel if you come back with that legacy, you'll do any better?
I will do better because I will be at policy level. At policy level, I'm able to implement policies which can meet the gaps which were there.
Madam, are you telling us that as a director, you can be asked to do something wrong for your position? What is the legacy are you going to be leaving?
Sir, I'm not saying as a director, me personally, I can do something which is wrong. I'm a person of very high integrity. But this is something which happened. It happened. I'm not protecting the institution. There were procurements which were done outside the tender committee, and that one is known even in the public.
Yes, but direct, if you're the chair, did you bring it to the attention of any institution that this is not the right procedure which has been followed, or were you working under duress?
Really, sir, I came to know about it actually when ESCC came to my office, because every time ESCC wants to investigate any organization, their first call is in the Office of Human Resources. So I got to know about it when they came to my office, and I raised it with my seniors. Yeah, it is true, I raised it.
Madam Celestin, after how long did the EACC come to question you?
Immediately after the referendum.
And how long was it after the orders were put in place and payments made?
That was just immediately after the referendum, because I was the chair of the tender committee from February 2010 to August 2010. So I got to learn of the procurements in August, and I raised it with my seniors.
How many types of procurements are normally been done through your training of Procurement Act?
We have the open tender.
Yes, public, yes.
We have the open tender. We have restricted tendering. We have requests for quotations, requests for proposals. We have framework agreements. And we even have design competition and low value procurement.
And direct procurement?
Even direct procurement.
What are the conditions of direct procurement?
If you are procuring from government department, government to government, you are allowed to do direct procurement. Or if there is only one supplier who can supply that item you are looking for, and in Kenya we only have one supplier, then you can do direct procurement. But when you do direct procurement, you have to report to the authority.
And would you say the ballot papers were Kenyans or international sourced?
They were internationally sourced.
So there ought to be only one person all over the globe to be able to do that, for it to subject it to direct procurement. Am I right?
That was an oversight, sir. I agree. They were procured directly, which was not supposed to be the case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdallah. I'll now request Mr. Solonka to ask you a few questions.
Okay, Madam Kiwuluku, let's go matters electoral.
Yes.
Yes, assume you are an IEBC commissioner.
Yes.
A runoff election is about to be held. A number of Kenyans have just turned 18. Who have just turned 18 file a lawsuit seeking orders for IEBC to register them as voters for purposes of the runoff. How will you advise the IEBC?
Thank you, sir. We have experienced that condition before. We have been sued by people who have turned 18 and have not been registered. And we have worked with the registrar who deals with IDs to fasten the issuance of IDs for Kenyans. And normally, during or near an election, if you go to them and you have challenges on IDs, they are able to produce IDs within a very short time. So we will liaise with our stakeholder, the National Registration Bureau, to have the youth already registered. They get their IDs and we register them.
Maybe you did not get the question right. These Kenyans have IDs. They've just turned 18, they have their IDs.
Yes.
They've come to IEBC to be registered as voters after that runoff election was announced. But then they were not registered. So consequently they went to court to seek for those orders. What will you advise IEBC?
The law does not allow us to continue registering staff after a runoff has been announced. So we will defend ourselves using the law, because once an election has been, a vacancy has been declared, we can't register voters.
Okay.
And that is within the law.
What other instances is IEBC prohibited from registering?
If there is a by-election,
yeah,
and the notice for the vacancy has already been issued, we stop registration. And also 60 days before a general election, we also stop registration.
Okay.
Yes.
What about in the case of a referendum?
When we publish the referendum, we also stop the registration.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in Kenya, we have national IDs, voter register, passports, and we have the latest entrant being the Huduma number. What are your thoughts about all these registers being integrated, and what will be the possible benefits and risks of such integrations?
Thank you, sir. I think that is one of the issues which was raised by the Klinkler Commission, recommendations that we integrate our voter register with the register for IDs. But in Kenya, voting is voluntary. And I think that has been a major issue, because if voting is voluntary, then even if we integrate the data, it will be no use, because the commission is independent in terms of the work they are doing, and we don't want to interfere with the work of other departments, or other departments to interfere with the work of the commission. For us as Kenyans, if it can really be integrated, that will be the best for Kenyans, because when you take your ID, then it means you get your rights, your political rights to vote. But currently, it is not integrated. It is something we have discussed with the other government departments, and it has not pulled through yet.
So what are these benefits of integration? That's what I want you to address, just briefly, and then move to what are the risks of integration.
Some of the benefits will be, we will be able to cut on cost, because registration of voters in Kenya is very expensive. Rounding this country to go everywhere, it is very expensive, and it will really cut costs in terms of the cost of registration. It will also be easier for people to have their political rights, because there are people who forget to go for registration, yet they don't forget to go for their IDs. If you get your ID and you are able to vote with it, it will be easier for people to go and vote. And some of the risks which are there is integration can also cause issues to do with independence of the commission, because we are not aware how they keep their database. We are not aware how they keep their database, but we know how we protect the details of our voters. And since we are doing election for all the parties which are in government, others who are not in government, I think there will be an issue of trust if the data is with a government department.
And what solutions will you provide in that case?
In that case, I will propose the registers remain the way they are, and we enhance the registration, which is currently undergoing in IEBC, which is supposed to be continuous every day. We are supposed to be registering voters.
Okay, so you don't advocate for integration at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
With the law which is there.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe you can also define for me some of these electoral terms. What is a party list?
A party list is a list of persons who would stand elected after the general election through proportional representation.
So you're saying it's a list of persons?
It's a list which is given by political parties, and in Kenya the list is closed. It's given before the election. Yeah. We get it 45 days before any general election. And after the election has been done, then we select people from that list for proportional representation. In Kenya, we have a system we call proportional representation, which happens after the election. Then we have the majoritarian system we use with the contested election.
Okay, thank you. And what about, what do you understand by a principal register of voters?
A principal register of voters is the register which contains the post station register, the ward register, the constituency register, the county register, and the register of Kenyans living outside the country. A combination of all those 5 registers is what we call the register of voters, the principal.
And just that, in the hard copy form alone?
Pardon?
That principal register, in what form is it maintained?
We maintain it online. It's online, and we also print. We also print it. So it's in print media, and it is also in online media.
Okay. Lastly, what do you understand by the term affirmative action?
Affirmative action, sir, is any action which seeks to bridge a gap which existed before the new constitution. An example of an affirmative action is the tool that's gender role in Kenya, where the constitution realized that women are not well represented in elective positions or in public positions, and the two gender role was implemented to bridge that gap.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Kioluku, and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Solonka. I'll now request Madam Elizabeth Mayo to ask you a few questions, Celestine.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Celestine, once more.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Celestine, from your CV, you indicated that between 2010 and 2017, while at the IEBC, you are the director in charge of HR.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, when you look at the strategic plan 2020-2024, they have indicated, like lessons learned, what they learned from the past performance, achievements, and challenges. When I look at that plan, there is nowhere they have talked of anything touching on staff as an achievement during that plan period. That is during your tenure.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
But when you come to the challenges, they have identified some 3 critical challenges as affecting staff. What do you have to say about that? That there is nothing identifying with your performance during your period.
Madam Chair, which challenges?
I'm not talking of what were your achievements. They are nowhere in the plan. They are not identified. But the challenges are staff attrition, the issue with the remuneration of casual staff.
Okay, Madam Chair, I want to state to this panel that maybe they don't have challenges in or they and achieved. The whole strategic plan we had done when I was there, we achieved everything which was planned. The commission was new. We set up all the structures. Actually, I was instrumental in setting up all the structures in the commission. So I think what we had planned is what we achieved. Now they have new challenges which they are supposed to take up. And I will take them up when I'm there.
Yeah, so Celestine, what you are telling me is that the fact that they are not shown in this strategic plan as an achievement means that there is an omission.
Not really an omission.
Yeah.
The The issue which is there, I've seen they are saying they have a challenge of stagnation of pay. And the other issue which I've seen is
Staff attrition.
Staff attrition,
Yeah.
which is normal in IEBC. In any electoral commission, we have a lot of staff attrition due to the pressure of the work which is there.
I'm not asking you about challenges.
Yes.
I'm asking you about what you achieved during your period because it is omitted here. So let us assume it is an omission.
Yes,
Tell
I
us
think
what-
it's...
Yeah. Tell
Yes.
us, what did you achieve during your period touching on staff welfare?
Staff welfare, I implemented motivational schemes like the car loan scheme. That was my own initiative.
Which scheme?
The car loan.
Yeah.
The mortgage scheme for employees of the commission, I designed it myself. The retirement benefit scheme, I implemented it myself on approval by the commission. And other welfare, we implemented the human resources and administration manual, which I developed when I was there myself.
So if you are appointed as Commissioner, Celestine, you are telling me, you will now let people know that the staff at IEBC are taken care of well, and there is no demotivation amongst the staff.
One thing I know, which is that the commission is they have stagnated for long in terms of progression of salary. And the reason why they stagnated for long is because it is one of the best paid commissions. Apart from the Parliamentary Commission, IEBC is the next commission which is paid better than any other commissions in Kenya. And when we were doing job evaluation for all the commissions which were being paid higher than what the other commissions were earning or what the other commissions were set to earn, they were supposed to be stagnated because of sustainability and affordability of the country.
Okay, thank you. So apart from stagnation, what are the other challenges affecting staff?
The other challenge is about the pressure of work. Lily is a place where pressure is so high in terms of the work they do and security of the staff in terms of physical security. It's not even anything else. Physical security. Because the medical schemes they have, the group life medical covers they have, the issue of security of staff and the fatigue which is experienced by workers of the commission during an election is just too much. Yes.
Okay, as the person who was in charge of HR, you are director.
Yes.
Now you are aspiring to be a commissioner. How will you mitigate some of these challenges? And what do you think you can do differently that you did not do when you were in that docket as director of HR?
Madam Mayor, I think I started mitigating even when I was there.
Okay.
And one of the issues we came up with during an election, because mostly the returning officers do not sleep for about 3 days, we came up with a formula where those who work from 6 to about 6, the clerks, we and some reserve clerks who assisted them in the counting. So we had clerks for voting and we had clerks for counting to ease on the fatigue of the employees. The other thing we did, we had a medical scheme which covered issues to do with counseling of the employees. It was there, and we had trained counselors, internal counselors, who would handle the employees when they have issues to be cancelled.
Okay, Celestine, when you are leading a staff who are facing these kind of challenges, definitely there will be risks associated with that. So what are some of the risks which you, as the director of HR, encountered associated with leading a demotivated staff?
They were not demotivated, by the way. The employees of IBC are motivated. I think the risks which are there are to do with their physical security, which we requested for the returning officers to be assigned armed policemen. And when we talked to the National Police Service, they were very cooperative. Even our offices were guarded by armed policemen. And that was a relief to the employees, especially when they were moving around in the issues of handling elections. Every returning officer in the country has one policeman who protects the returning officer. Because if the returning officer dies before an election happens, then that election itself will be at risk.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You've talked of fatigue as one of the challenges the staff are facing, especially working long hours.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in your view, how would you determine productivity of your staff? Maybe at the end of a period, you want to know whether your staff are doing the right thing, your objectives are met, and all the initiatives you had put in place are done according to your work plan. How will you measure? And what tool are you using for measuring staff performance?
When I was there, I implemented a rigorous management, performance management system where we have appraisals on quarterly basis. Once we do the strategic plan, like they have done, targets are set. And once targets are set, we monitor the targets on quarterly basis through a performance management system, which is based on the balanced scorecard system of appraisal.
So according to you, Celestine, your staff are occupied. They are busy throughout the electoral cycle.
They are supposed to be busy
Not
throughout.
Supposed to be. Are they busy?
They are not busy most of the electoral cycle because normally on a day-to-day basis, they are supposed to be doing voter education and voter registration. And the situation they find themselves in is the people who come to their offices to register outside an election period. They are very few. So you find you are in the office as a returning officer or as a registration officer, and maybe 2 people come to register that day. The continuous voter registration has not attracted numbers which can occupy them on a daily basis. The other thing they do is voter education on daily basis, which sometimes the funding is not available for them to move out and do the voter education on daily basis.
Okay, thank you. So from what you are telling us is that you are having a group of staff, busybodies in the office because there is no budget, there is nothing they are doing, they are not attracting people to come and register, and they are being paid salaries using taxpayers' money.
Sometimes it happens. Yes.
No, you are the head of HR. You should tell us that, yes, we have a group, we are paying them, but ideally they are not busy. They are not working.
Actually, ideally, after a rigorous evaluation of the institution, we came up with the recommendations. Maybe as a country, we should employ some of the people on a contract, part-time, on a term contract, then release them, and then they come on another contract when we are near the election. And this will be a cost-saving measure to the Commission and to the government at large.
So in your view, what innovative approaches would you consider that IBC should use so that you address this issue? Because
that is one of the innovative...
let me continue.
Yes.
Finish what I was saying. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying what innovative approaches, because really you can do it differently. Yeah, you don't have to have people coming to you for registration. You don't have to have people coming to you for you to ensure that people have been educated. So how can you do it differently, but in a cost-effective way?
I think with the, Madam, with the change in media currently, there are so many innovative methods we can employ.
Yeah.
Either the social media or even other mediums which have come in place. We even have online portals where we can now post data for voter education for our voters to interact with on regular basis.
Okay.
Social media has become a tool for education and advocacy in Kenya, and is very strong in Kenya. Actually, studies, I was reading another studies which were done that especially the youth, about 9.9 million youth are on social media 3 hours every day. And this is a very great number of people of Kenya in Kenya who are on social media. And Kenya is an internet hub today. We can come up with methods where we can do voter education on social media, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, even TikTok, and other means which are there. We also have digital content creators who can assist us in the issue of voter education, and they are very effective. If you talk to people like Janet Mbugua, who is doing a lot of empowerment of women and the youth, these are people who can assist us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Celestine. The last one, during the 2017 general election, there were some unforeseen risks that actually materialized. Yeah? And when such risks occur, they seriously destabilize the operations of the commission. What do you think is the cause of such risks? 2, what were the risks that occurred, but the IEBC never thought that they'll be there?
Okay, some of the risks which may occur are legal in nature. Like, I don't think the commission expected the changes which came very near the election, the changes in law. There were changes which were done very near the date of the election, which I think destabilized the plans they had for the election. Other risks were political in nature. We had areas where we had political violence, which came. I don't think they expected, because they normally use a tool with which we borrow from international idea for identifying risks. Some of the risks which happened in 2013, they may not have been inefficient, like the risk of technology failure.
2017, not 2013.
Yeah, 2017. Sorry, 2017. The risk of technology failure, one thing which may have caused this is delayed testing of the equipment which was being used. And maybe they never anticipated that the technology will not work in most of the areas which did not have network, and they never bought enough satellite phones which can transmit outside the Airtel and the Safaricom network. And there were about 11,000 stations which did not have network. And that is what caused the technology failure. The other risks which are there were to do with compliance with the law. I think there were gaps in compliance with the law, and there were also gaps in operations. Risks which came up during the operation, the 14-day activity, there were also risks which they never anticipated in terms of some people who went to the polling station and complains that some people went to the polling stations and their names were not in the register. Yet the names, these are people who assumed they are in the register and they went to vote.
Okay, Celestine, the risks you are telling me were mitigated very well by IBC. Yeah, so I just want you to think of like nullification of presidential election. IBC never thought it will happen. Then there is one on decision by courts to extend mass voter registration period by additional 5 days. IEBC did not think of that. Then withdrawal of a candidate for repeat presidential election. IEBC never thought of that. Those were the anti.
And anticipated.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I'll now request the Vice Chair to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, Celestine, just to take you out of the administrative environment of the Secretariat.
Yes.
Before, I'll come back to it, of course, because that's your major area. And really want to tap into your foresight as somebody who actually designed the system that runs IEBC today, because it doesn't seem to have changed much. I would like to take you out of that and ask you, with all that we have, we still have huge problems in our electoral systems. Where do you see the problems, in terms of our entire electoral environment? What do you see from your perspective are the key challenges?
I think one issue I would see very well is the issue of the wrangles which are always in the commission. That is an issue. Most of the times they never talk with one voice. And when an institution has wrangles, then it is very hard to gel together. Earlier, we used to see the institution as having two centers of power, but this was sorted out with the amendment of the IEBC Act, inserting Section 11A, where the roles of the Commission and those of the Secretariat were divided. And it is very clear now what the Secretariat is supposed to do and what the Commission is supposed to do. There are issues to deal with because I've worked for two commissions at the same time. And one of the issues I always raised with my seniors at IEBC is the issue of the vision carriers not having adequate communication with the implementers of their vision. That is one issue which is in the commission. Yet, other times is the issue of not having one voice as a commission. And when you are divided, then politicians will take an advantage of you. And unless the commission is able to stand on one voice, they have one person talking for them, then the politicians will always come to divide them, which is an issue we never used to have in Salaries Commission, because in Salaries Commission, we used to have only the chair talking on behalf of the commission. In Salaries Commission, you could not differentiate between me and an employee of the commission. In IEBC, the commissioners are alone and the workers are behind their CEO and the commissioners are alone. And the commission knows how to integrate themselves as one commission. There will always be a problem. And politicians will always take advantage of those divisions.
Now that you're applying for this job, if you're on the commission, how would you handle this situation so that you help rectify it? What role would you play as a commissioner?
One issue I intend to handle when I get there as a commissioner is to ensure that the commission and the secretariat integrate as one commission. And that can be done through team building. It can be done through issues to do with getting feedback from the commissions. If you go to IEBC, the commissioners will meet alone with their CEO and maybe one person who is taking the minutes. One thing I always told them is that the Salaries Commission, any commission meeting, all the top level management was in that commission, so that there is integration between the top management and the commission. And that is one issue I intend to address when I get there. In countries like
just on that one, Celestine.
Yes.
When you have management sitting in meetings of the commission, how will the commission provide oversight to the institution? Where does the independence of the commission provide oversight come from if you have a secretariat sitting in meetings of the commission?
It is not the whole secretariat. It is your top management. The top management is the one which supports any commission. And if you look at the other commissions, the way they operate, that is the way they operate. The top management comes to present their papers to the commission. And it is the best way so that when the commission is giving directives, everybody who is supposed to implement that directive is there.
What is the role of the CEO of the secretariat of the IEBC? Because he is in charge of the secretariat and he is the one who is supposed to transmit decisions, policy decisions of the commission to the rest of the secretariat and take responsibility at that level. Now, if you have management sitting there with the CEO there, doesn't that undermine the power of the CEO?
Well, sir, I want to tell you I've traveled to areas like MESCO. MESCO, even when the commission is sitting, the public, they come to the gallery to listen to what the commission is deliberating. They don't talk when the commission is deliberating, but after the meeting, they give their views. And most of the commissions who succeed in election are the ones who integrate their staff in the meetings. And that is what we did in Salaries Commission.
Okay. I take that as your view. I won't take it away from you.
Yes.
Celestine, in your many responsibilities that you have held, positions of responsibility, have you ever had a situation where your decisions are challenged to the point whereby you thought of quitting a job?
Not at all. But I've had many occasions when my decisions were challenged. One of them being the ones we have done, I participated in the Salaries Commission, but I've never thought of quitting a job because of challenges. That has not occurred to me.
Yeah, when your decisions are challenged, what do you do? What do you do in situations where your decisions have been challenged? What kind of, yeah?
There must be a reason why the decision is being challenged. And I have experienced it as a human resource director. You give a directive, the workers tell you, no, this is not a good directive. So I normally go to them to inquire from them what are the issues of concern so that I listen to them. I'm a very good listener. And if I find actually that I was the one who was giving the wrong direction, I'll really accommodate their contributions and we amend so that we can work together in a good way.
So how would you describe your leadership style? Participatory, top-down, horizontal, top-down, participatory?
No, I'm a participatory leader. I like developing the people under me, the ones under me. I like developing them. I'm a coach and I'm a mentor.
Thank you for that. Now, during your time there, That's when we had in the public a lot of conflicts between the CEO at that time and the chair. There are all those tags of war, I think, supremacy battles of sorts. Did that affect your responsibilities? And how, if at all? Or you are completely immune from that?
No, it affected our responsibilities, all of us. And just like how the public gets disappointed when there are wrangles in the commission, even an employee of the commission will also get disappointed. And there are many times, even as employees, we tried to sort out the issue.
Just give us an example of what you try to do, especially from your position as head of HR.
We held meetings. Me personally, I organized a lot of team building activities, even outside Nairobi, in Mombasa, to get to have the commission and the secretariat united. And some of them worked very well. We went for camping with the senior management and the commission. And I think we, as the staff of the commission, we did our best in order to have the CEO and the chairman to be on the same page.
Thank you for that. Now, give us a vision for the IEBC, the ideal IEBC you would like to see going forward. If you are to be in the commission, we have an election next year. What kind of IEBC would you like to see?
I would like to see an IEBC which can conduct credible elections. Every Kenyan has democratic aspirations, and I would like to have a commission which meets those democratic aspirations of Kenyans.
Thank you, Celestine.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. I'll now request Reverend Father Mutie to ask a few questions.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me, Madam Celestine, to ask you a few questions. I'll begin from where my fellow panelist has just stopped. You said you never at any moment thought of leaving a job.
Yes,
but,
sir.
From your application, you held a very senior position, the Director, Human Resource and Administration at IEBC, and you left. Why do you want to come back?
Thank you, sir. I think the reason why I left IEBC is not that I was not happy with the work. I enjoyed working in IEBC, and I built very great connections, which I still rely on even today. But the reason why I left at that point in time is because I had equally other national duty which I am being assigned to perform by the government of Kenya. And you will see, because of my excellency in public service, I've been given national honors actually twice. In 2013, because of my excellent service in public sector, I was awarded MBS, Moran of the Elder of the Burning Spear, and in 2017, just immediately I left IEBC, and I was awarded because of the work in IEBC and the work in Salaries Commission. It's not that I left because of any differences I had in anybody. No.
Mm-hmm. Celestine, allow me to ask you, are you aware of the chicken gate scandal?
Yes, I'm aware.
Do you have anything to tell this panel about that scandal?
I know it's an ongoing case in court, and it was about ballot papers.
That's it?
Do you want me to discuss an ongoing case in court? Because it's already in court. It has not been completed. It was just on ballot paper. Ballot paper which were procured direct without passing through competitive bidding. That was the case.
So would you, as a professional, if you were appointed a commissioner, what measures or mechanisms would you put in place to avoid such scandals?
There is a law on procurement, and if all of us followed the law, those scandals will not come up. In terms of procurement, even the commission itself, as commissioners, they don't participate in procurement. The procurement is done at the lower level, at the management level, but however, the commission is supposed to oversight what is happening at the secretariat. I would just advise that we follow the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act and ensure that we operate within the law and we comply with the law. And it is very easy to comply with the law because to advertise a tender for ballot paper is very easy. You advertise and you get people who compete and you pick them best. You can even advertise three years to the general election and you do a framework agreement and there will be no risk which will occur.
Thank you. Madam Celestine, have you ever found yourself in an ethical dilemma?
Yes, I have.
Speak
Yes.
about.
Many times when I was the tender committee chair, it's something which occurred to me regularly. People, suppliers coming to me to tell me, oh, can you help? But I normally used to reinstate what the law states and why we can't help anybody. You have to compete with the other people. If you are the best, we will select you. In Nairobi Water, actually, I was handling tenders of billions because we were building dams. They were on billions in a one tender. And you know, suppliers always think if you are the chair of the tender committee, maybe you can influence your members or you can talk to your members. But I've never done something like that. I politely told them it is within your right to apply for the tender. If you are the best, we will select you because we are objective and impartial in that decision making.
Thank you, madam. Naomba pia niweze kukuuliza ni maadili gani unayoenzi?
Mimi nataka kusema kama mfanyikazi wa sekta ya public, mimi ni mtu mwaminifu na mtilifu kwa njia ya kufanya kazi na kupatia Wanakenya huduma zile zinatakikana kwa zile organization nimefanya kazi. Na huwa napendelea kufanya kazi kwa nguvu na kwa bidii kila siku. Na hiyo ndio maadili ile naweza kusema mimi kama Mwanakenya huwa najivunia nikifanya kazi watu wangu waniambie wamethirika na ile kazi nimefanya kwao. Yes.
Asante, Madam Kiuluku, and all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Reverend Father. Celestine?
Yes, Madam.
Now, it's now my turn to ask you a general knowledge question. Under the Constitution, when will the term of the current Parliament come to an end? On what date?
The date of the next general election.
Well, thank you. You got that right.
Yes.
So thank you so much. We've now come to the...
Maybe, Chair, if you can allow me to just clarify something from Madam.
Mr. Kimuli, I'll give you exactly 2 minutes.
That's even long.
Okay.
Celestine.
Yes.
Father has asked you why you left IEBC, and you have said you got other important national engagements. And I'm looking at your CV and I can't see them.
And sir, let me state that at the time when I was leaving IEBC, I actually requested to leave like a year ago. But IEBC, my seniors insisted that I prepare for the full election, which I did. And the reason why I left is because the Salaries Commission was coming to an end in December 2017. And we had been given timelines by government to finish and tighten up all the structures for public sector. And that is the important job I left IEBC to go and complete. If you look at my CV, I was the chairperson of the civil service sector job evaluation. And we were required to release those structures before the commission exited in December.
My only concern is that at the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, you are part-time.
Yes.
At IEBC, you are full-time, actually pensionable, and it's a very senior position. So you wouldn't have relinquished the Salaries Commission to continue working with IEBC, where now you want to come back to?
Once you are appointed for a constitutional position, I think it will not be prudent if you leave without completing your work. And that is what we did as Salaries Commission. And I never left without any permission. I left with permission.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kimuli. So, Celestine, we've come to the end of your oral interview. I invite you to make any remarks you may have to the panel at this time.
Chairperson and the panel, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me the time to interact with you. I want to still assure you that I have dominant knowledge in electoral matters. I am passionate about working for my country at this capacity of Commissioner IEBC. And when selected, I want to assure you that I will do the best to ensure that IEBC in the next coming election conducts a credible election for all Kenyans. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Celestine. And indeed, on behalf of the panel and the people of this country, we also want to appreciate you for expressing an interest to serve at the level of IEBC Commissioner. We don't take it for granted. So we do wish you well. And at this time, I'll request a member of the Secretariat to escort you. Please ensure that you get all your documents back, the original certificates. And we wish you a very good afternoon, and God bless you.
Thank you, Madam. And thank you, the whole panel.
Thank you. Okay. So we've come to the end of the interviews today. We'll resume tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.